Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Plug you in, my tuning up frequency. Jett and the crew, they got the remedy. Discussing bats and all his legacy. Mike is silent. Welcome to the social hour. We're talking gospel, flying power. Look in the field, the protest got the keys to the Batmobile. Lights go down the shuts about to start. Jett's listen, sucking like a dog. We're down the ways of hard. We're in deep, not sleep. Welcome to the social hour. Exploring Gotham's darkest hours. Tune in, feel the charge. Jett's at the helm with going large.
Welcome to the Social Hour, Batman on Film podcast, batman-on-film.com. I am the founder of Batman on Film, Bill Ramey. This is episode. Words are hard. Episode 196. Let's ride. Pete Verra is back on the social. Hell, I'm back on the social hour. It's been 2 or 3 weeks. I get those emails like, why isn't there any Batman news on Batman on Film? I'm like,
because there's no news.
Because there isn't any.
That's
you mean to make it
Just
up?
Relax. You could go to a couple websites for that.
I could make it up, or I can have nonsense articles. And
usually when there's no news is when Bill decides he's going to attack Robin for no reason at all. That's usually when there's no news.
Oh, I don't need any reason to attack Robin. It's just too easy to do.
You do. You need something to do. You need something to do.
Got to talk about with Lauer, one of the best Batman stories of all time. Robin dies at dawn. Yeah, that was fantastic. And yeah, classic comic there, unlike Hush.
Wow, you've been taken to the bad takes society really well there. That's horrible. I don't know how many times I got to tell you, but you're wrong on that one, pal.
My takes are legit.
And for a guy who doesn't want to talk about Hush, you sure do bring him up a lot.
I don't bring him up. I just brought it up today because it was funny. I knew it because it was funny. That's why.
You and Patrick Johnson, audience
over
each other.
I put that on. You've seen who's talked about it. It's an overrated story.
You talked
overrated
about it like that.
Story. Overrated, super overrated. I did a podcast with you on that. Explain
so overrated. It got a sequel.
It's a lot of things that are overrated and bad get sequels.
Oh, jeez.
In fact, the sequel to it, Heart of Hush, is much better than Hush. Now they're going for a cash grab with calling it Hush 2. So anyway, I'm not here to talk about Hush.
Until he does.
I'm here to talk about Batman. All right, there is a little bit of Batman news. I saw this. Andy Serkis must have been at one of those. It was at MegaCon Orlando.
Yes, that is going on. All the creators are down there.
Okay. Is that like a franchise con? There's MegaCon in different cities, or is that it?
I actually have no idea.
Strictly Orlando.
I only knew about it because I believe Mitch Gerads was down there, Tim Sheridan, so they've been posting on social media, going to Disney World, things they see at the con. So I actually had no idea it was a thing until like 2 days ago. So
the one I would say is probably the biggest one that comes to the Dallas area, comes to Dallas, actually, downtown Dallas. It's one of those, they're in different cities as well. And I can't think of the name off it. Fan Expo. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So I didn't know if the MegaCon was like that. If they were in different cities. But anyway, this one was in Orlando, and YouTube account, YouTube channel, whatever. Love Our Life. taped, recorded the entire panel with Andy Serkis, and of course he was asked about the Batman Part 2. And this is, I mean, I've seen the whole articles over it. I just thought I'd mention it on the podcast. He said, I know there is a huge appetite for it. I am as hungry for it as you are. And then he mentioned that he was doing press for the Penguin with Matt Reeves. And while doing that, Matt Reeves shared the story of the Batman Part 2 with him and said, and I was so excited. That's it. That's it. Andy Serkis was excited to hear the story that Matt Reeves and Mattson Tomlin had concocted for the Batman Part 2.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing it. It's kind of hard for me to judge. Like, you know,
I mean, the only thing
just an actor's opinion. So,
I mean, the only thing I got to say is, you know, I'm excited for it too, and that's it. I don't think that's all newsworthy.
I'm sure if he read it and he thought it sucked, he would either leave or just not say anything. So,
Yeah.
you know, like, how many times have you heard, oh man, the script's great, got a great script, and the movie tanks. So
I'm excited for it as well. So when things start showing up, news items that are worthy of further discussion and articles on Batman on Film, then we'll have them there. We'll talk about it and we'll write about it.
Yeah, we're just kind of in like this limbo phase, to be honest with you.
I mean, you're after there's a lot, you know, with the Penguin. There was a lot. I mean, we were doing, you know, every Monday talking about it, and then you waiting for another show, and there was a lot of discussion. And then Matt Reeves did, you know, he did press for the Penguin, and it was just, there was a lot to talk about. And then they did press afterwards. And now it's just we're in that period of, you know, he's
in between
finishing the script and they're going to start shooting. So at some point this year, we'll have things of substance to discuss.
And then we could complain about set picks. So, you know, just looking forward to that.
Well, yes. But you know
that Batman in the robe on the motorcycle, that made it everywhere. That was tough. Remember that was a rough week. Everyone complained about that.
It's you know, it's the fun time. I always talk about enjoy the ride. You know, it's fun when you get the casting announcements, and then you know what characters are going to be in it, and then that's when people start doing fan fiction and write the whole story. And then when
you mean like Mr. Freeze is the villain?
And then it does turn out that way. They get pissed off because it wasn't what they concocted in their mind. You know, we got all that fun stuff. That's what happened to Kowalski in Rises.
He made up the movie in his head.
Oh God, here we go with that again. But speaking of the Penguin and the Batman Part 2, your favorite actress of all time, Cristin Milioti, who played Sofia Falcone Gigante.
It's great in a yellow dress.
On the Penguin, just said it was Critics' Choice Awards, I believe. They were last Friday or something like that, and she won. She won for Best Actress in a limited series or TV movie. She won. So did Colin Farrell.
She won my heart. I'll tell you that much. Because she was a tour de force and a total babe.
Yeah, and she was asked. She was asked, you know, would you like to be in one of the upcoming Batman films from Matt Reeves? And she's hinted around about it before, saying how much, like, growing up, coming up as a young actress, like she was a Batman fan and was like one of her goals was to be a Batman villain in a Batman movie. And she got to kind of do it. She was in the Penguin, you know. Wasn't a movie, but it was part of the Batman saga. Anyway, she said, I would love nothing more than to be in a Batman movie by Matt Reeves. It's my wildest dream. The day they call, I'll be there, like when they are loading in the base camp vans. You know what I mean? It would be my wildest dream. I haven't heard anything concrete yet, but I would love it. I think a lot of people would. I've said before in this space, I've said before, written words on Batman on Film, I don't think we've seen the last of Sofia or or Cristin
One,
Milioti.
I'm not surprised by an actress telling a studio that they're wanting to work with them,
Sure.
or a director, right? Like, two, that's part of the game. That's how they network. Uh, also, I think she's kind of just trying to create awareness, socially, maybe bring up, get people tweeting about her, how much they want her. This way, people can see, social media wise, just trying to gain some attention. I think she'd be great in a future Batman sequel. I think she would fit in effortlessly. I mean, that Penguin show was phenomenal. So to put in another person trying to again take over territory from Oswald, she's probably first in line. Correct. There are other mob bosses in Gotham City. I'm sure there's other people who want to take Oswald out too. So if they don't want to go Gigante Revenge, which is kind of similar to what the Penguin was, and not try to do the same thing over and over again. I could see them using somebody else, like a Rupert Thorne type character, some one of those people. I'm sure those guys are still around Gotham City. But yeah, no, she was great. I'd love to see more of her. With the way the show ended, it seems like it is not the end of her. It seems like she's teaming up with Selena for some kind of adventure. So if we see that, that would be awesome. Whether it's on the silver screen or on the small screen, I don't really care, but I would love to see her again.
Well, to be fair, she was asked this question backstage after she got her award, and of course, she's just going, yeah, I love to do it. So I don't think she was actually campaigning for anything, but I mean, I would have figured that she may have a hint, because she just mentioned nothing concrete yet, but we'll see. I do think we'll see her again. I know that Lauren LaFranc and other people involved with the show have said that the Selena letter at Arkham in the last episode was kind of a Nolan move, where you kind of, things keep going and you can just, whatever you think is going to happen happens. But it wouldn't shock me if something comes out of that. It could be, what about a Catwoman show on HBO? And Sofia is one of the characters in it. Maybe she shows up in the Batman party. There's been some whispers. There's been some rumor that her character's in the film. I would say, okay, how does she fit? You know what I mean? How does she fit? Because I don't think we need to do revenge. Well, I don't. Would it be repetitive if we did, what we did? We saw her go for revenge on Oz and the Penguin the first season, the only season so far.
Yeah.
I think bringing in Selena is a different angle to get something, another type of storyline.
To be honest with you, like, if you're bringing in Selena, I'd love to see Selena break her out of Arkham. Like, that's where she is. I'd love to see them kind of a Thelma and Louise of Gotham type deal. I think something like that would be interesting. I don't know what you can do with her locked up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be, if that's the case, we're talking about an HBO series. I don't think Selena breaking her out of Arkham and then them going on some sort of, I don't want to say crime spree, or just some sort of adventure of some kind would not be something that would make for a subplot in the Batman Part 2. Of course, again, I'm not a creative, so I don't know. I think they're going for another angle, but she's talked about it before, about when she was asked where do you want to come back? Yes. Where do you see Selena going? And she said, it just seemed like there are infinite possibilities of where she could go. Obviously, I'd wanted to see her get out of Arkham. That's like number one. So there you go, Pete. We just talked about that. I don't want her in there, she says. So I want her to see her get out. And then then she says exact revenge. So, well, maybe we get that. Maybe Selena helps him with that. I don't know.
Her and Oz have a history. So
I thought it was her, but he was kind to her,
Was he? He did kind of put her in the one place. Instead of killing her, he gave her, he put her back in the one place she hates the most, which is Arkham.
Selena?
Oh, Selena. I thought you were talking about
No. Oz was
Sofia.
kind to Selena in the Batman.
Yeah.
know?
Well, that's before he found out that she stole his money. Remember that? He did
Yeah.
think she was just a
Well,
capture.
yeah, like that. You got a good point.
Selena was doing, what Selena does best, playing both sides
Yeah.
of the fence. So,
She also says maybe now she could be even more of a loose cannon because before it was pretty focused on Oz, and Oz gaining power. But depending on what happens to her in there, it could be an even larger target. Even larger target. I would love to explore that. So that's her doing some just speculating on where Sofia could go. She certainly wants to play her again. I think we'll see her. I hope we see her. That's where I stand on that.
I think what you got to do is you got to cast Bane in the next movie, have him blow Arkham up like in Nightfall, and then just have everyone run wild.
But we don't have.
he's, he's so upset right now.
Another overrated
He
story.
can't figure it out. Oh,
I would say
really?
that we're not that far along in Batman's career to have
No.
Arkham full of Batman
We're
bad
getting
guys.
close though. We're getting close. We got a bomb.
I mean, the
boss, we
Riddler's
got a
in
Joker
there.
and a Riddler.
Nashton's in there.
Yeah.
The dude who will become the Joker, the pre-Joker Joker, he's in there.
And who knows who else between the first movie and the second movie, Batman.
Well, Magpie was in there until Sofia took care of her. Yeah.
So, yeah. Who knows who's in God? Maybe Clayface is in Arkham right now. Batman captured Clayface.
How does he?
Movies.
Can he shapeshift out of cells? Was he have to have a special cell?
Well, I imagine he's probably got a special cell.
That's they send him like Belle Reeve or something that some of these supermax for criminals.
No, he's in Arkham, but he's in a cell and it's probably above like a body of water. This way he can't escape. This way when he oozes out, he just turns into liquid. All this great science fiction stuff you love.
Yes. I actually just talked about the two Clayface episodes on the Batman animated series.
Oh, the early ones with the detective?
Yeah.
Those are good.
Rubberface of comedy, the Clayface of tragedy.
Surprisingly, a lot of those changes they did early on in the Batman didn't bother me. Because I thought the show was so well written, I just went with it. Like Clayface was one of them. Like that was just a different.
Not jump into make this a Batman animation, but I did mention in those shows we did both episodes, but both episodes, one podcast for each. Anyway, it was I think the Ethan Bennett character was kind of who became Clayface. Spoiler alert. I mean, the series is only 20 years old. It was their kind of way of doing a kind of sort of version. But they couldn't do Two-Face. I think they couldn't do Two-Face, and they kind of, friend of Bruce Wayne, law enforcement.
It worked. It worked really well.
Had a,
childhood friend. Yeah.
There was some kind of chemical tragedy, chemical accident. This time it was on the hands of the Joker with that Joker putty, and then he becomes their version of Clayface. I think there was something to do was kind of like get that dynamic where Bruce and when Bruce and Harvey are friends,
that conflict.
Yeah. So anyway, it was okay. It was all right. I want to see that in live action, not in the Batman universe at least.
Well, in the Batman universe, he doesn't have time for friends. He barely has time for Alfred. So, he's a little bit of a recluse. But I think he's more.
Will he be? Will he continue to be that though?
No, I don't think so. I think this is an evolution of Batman.
Yeah,
that we'll see on screen. Obviously, like we got with the Penguin. Like obviously, we've heard a lot of complaints about monocles and umbrellas, and by season's end of the Penguin, he's wearing a full tuxedo, getting ready to go to the mayor's gala. So, just got to wait and see. It's all about the end destination there.
I think, as we know, Bruce and Batman both had epiphanies in the Batman. So I think both are headed into a different phase in their.
One of the things I do want to see in the sequel, Wayne Enterprises. It was mentioned one or two times within the movie.
Well, that's
But
one. That's one of the setups. I think
you
you'll
know,
see.
yeah,
It's he. He's like he tells Alfred he doesn't care. I don't care about any of that. You know,
because
and then
I
Alfred.
almost got the vibe in the Batman that Wayne Enterprises was in trouble. Like Alfred's like, you got to pay attention. Like we're gonna get
Yeah,
these guys to come here. You won't go there.
yeah. You won't
This
go
is your
there.
future. Like I almost feel like
Yeah,
Wayne
I don't care
Enterprises is
about
being
that. He says.
neglected. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's a
Uh,
way to bring in Lucius Fox into this universe,
oh, the old Nolanite brain at it again, huh?
and then have him as
Yeah.
he.
No, I think that's a great idea.
I know that Bruce Wayne, Christian Bale's Bruce Wayne, made Lucius the head of Wayne Enterprises at the end of Batman Begins, but his main purpose through that trilogy was he was kind of the
You.
cue for
Yeah.
Bruce
I
and Batman. I don't want to see
Lucius.
that.
No,
I don't want to see
wanna
that
it
aspect
again.
at all. I don't do that. But yeah, have him come in and be
Like,
and head up Wayne
well,
Enterprises.
I like it when Lucius doesn't know. Kind of like when Lois doesn't know Clark is Superman. I kind of like our hero hiding the identity, creating a little bit of mystery, maybe using in Batman's sense, maybe essentially stealing stuff from Wayne Enterprises that he should that he already owns, but like that Lucius just developed. So he's kind of unknowingly developing tech for him. Like Bruce
I don't
sees
want him.
something.
I don't want Lucius to have anything to do with tech. I don't want him to come close to
You
that.
just want to be a businessman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He could be. Maybe he was someone that his father trusted, was a friend of Thomas Wayne and trusted him, and he brings him on board because he needs help to get Wayne
Your
Enterprises
father gave
back
me
on
an
track.
internship. I've worked at Wayne Enterprises for 30 years.
Yeah, and I like the fact that Bruce Wayne makes his own stuff. I want that to continue as well. I don't want to start relying on I don't want to call it a crutch, but I don't want to rely on, I need a new suit. Oh, I got the bat, and all the stuff that he would go to Lucius for. I love it in the Dark Knight trilogy, but I don't want to see it again,
Mhm.
So
Yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons. Like I mentioned this in the Facebook group. That's why I love Batman Returns. Just the way the Penguin recreates amusement park stuff for evil deeds. I thought that was genius.
now you're gonna how would he even build that? Living in a sewer.
How do you? I mean, what do you mean? How could they build anything? They got the schematics to the Batmobile. How'd they do that?
Is there a McFarlane of that Duckmobile?
Not yet.
Would he
But it's
be a
coming.
duck? Why would he have a duck anyway? Why wouldn't it be a penguin?
Well, no. If you're paying attention now, if you're paying attention to Batman Returns, you'll notice that when they do the Arctic Zone entrance shot, that those ducks are kind of like
Yeah.
rides, and they're hanging from cable cars. They're essentially cable cars.
It's so Burton. They even look
It's
like
genius.
Burton. This is
Genius.
Burton. I don't
Fantastic.
about that. Tim Burton is a genius, but I don't.
Batman Returns is great.
You really want me to go down that road?
Well, Lauer won't do this with you, so I will.
You okay? Was that the first? Just very quickly, because you were too young to go see Batman Returns, right?
Correct.
How were you when Batman Returns came out?
I was born in '86, so 6, 7,
6 years old.
something like that.
Do you remember it coming out?
I remember watching it on VHS. I don't
So
remember.
you found it later on as you were.
Yeah, my parents bought me a Batman movie, and I watched
It had been out. Did you see
how
it
it
before
happened.
Batman '89? Or had you already seen Batman '89?
I don't remember what I saw first. If to be honest, the first thing I probably ever saw was either 66 or 89. Those are probably that was my exposure to the character. Because 66 was on Nick at Night all the time. I remember my mom would watch it,
Yeah.
and that's how I would watch it. And she'd tell me this is my Batman, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's how that would start. And then 89 was obviously my first movie. For the longest time it was either 89 or 66 and Batman Returns. But then 95, obviously, I remember vividly that I had my Batmania then.
So you missed out on the backlash of Returns when it came out.
I've only read about it.
Okay. Well, I lived it. I was part of the backlash. I went and saw it and went, don't like this. And I was super
You guys
excited
got
to see it.
gaslit by McDonald's moms and Happy Meals.
No,
That's what happened.
I didn't get gaslighted by them. I probably told
It's
this
like
story.
all those Chiefs fans who thought they were going to win on Sunday. You got
I
gaslit.
went out of town. I did not. You go listen to the you don't
I didn't
listen
call
to
you a
the
Chiefs fan
podcast.
either.
I actually go listen to I got receipts, my friend. Go listen to the last Batman book club, and Lauer asked me to make a prediction, and I said I'm not pulling for them, but I'm gonna take the Eagles, and I explained exactly how, and ended up almost doing the exact same thing. That's
Like,
because
did you ever sing the song "Fly Eagles Fly"?
no, I don't. No, stop
Never-
that. Stop that.
I've been telling you, there have been parties and Wawas all over New Jersey. We're going crazy out here.
Where in New Jersey? South New Jersey or the whole
Oh, yeah.
state? Taking
South
over?
Jersey. Oh, South Jersey. Once you get past Princeton, it starts becoming New York.
Okay.
But,
Lost my train of thought. No, I was out of town. I had been waiting for that movie, and I was going to go opening night, and something happened. I had to go out of town, but I came back and still went opening night. That's when there wasn't midnight screenings. When it opened up, when the movie opened on a certain date, it opened on that date, and it was like at 7:00. It'd be like the first showing.
Yeah.
And so I went and I watched it. And why am I telling my Batman Returns story?
Because it's great and everyone wants to hear it.
And I went, I'm not liking it. I don't like this. This is not very good. It's not like
what movie did you walk out more disappointed in? Batman Returns or BVS?
Oh man.
Because it's notorious for
Batman Returns. Batman
really?
Returns. Yeah.
But you'd still watch it over the other.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I wasn't invested in Batman versus Superman. I'd already got, I was willing to give it a chance. I don't like, you know how I like Batman.
Which you were. Like, if anyone does the question, check the dates, look at the podcast.
Yeah.
There was nobody who was more excited for BVS than the old gunslinger here. So
I was not invested in it. I wanted it to do well. I wanted to enjoy BVS. But with Returns, I was invested. I can't tell you how many times I watched Batman 89 between 1989 until that movie came out. And I did go see it. I did see it a couple more times on the big screen, and I was like, didn't want to admit that, I didn't want to admit out loud, other than in my head, that I didn't like it. I got the when the DVD came out, I got it the day it came out and watched it, and I went, enough of this. I don't like this shit. So anyway, I do want to talk next about not Batman Returns, but its successor, Batman Forever, 30th anniversary. First of all, I always say enjoy the ride. Here's one. Batman Forever was 30 years ago. Does it seem like it was 30 years ago? Maybe for you. Hey, y'all, it's Bill Ramey, founder of Batman on Film. Let's take a quick pause in this podcast for these words from our sponsor. You're a kid.
Oh man, Batman Forever seems like yesterday. Man, everything surrounding that movie was just aimed right at me, and I was at the right age, and it still resonates to this day. Spin Master put out those toys not too long ago, and I picked up that car, and it just brought back a whole lot of vibes of Christmases long past. And
9 years old when it came out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was just right. It was right up my alley. Batman, Robin, your first appearance of Robin on the silver screen, right? Like, I was just so excited for that. I've been waiting for that for a while. Yeah, I mean, it's still very underrated in my opinion. Like, a lot of people still group it in with Batman and Robin wrongfully. Val Kilmer, does a fantastic job in that movie as Batman. It's a shame we didn't get more movies similar to Batman Forever. Instead, we got Batman and Robin that kind of killed it, because I think Joel could have. I think Joel did his job, and I think Joel did what he was supposed to do. But we all know Joel wanted to make a Batman Year One at some point, and he had better higher aspirations than what Batman and Robin became. But Batman Forever is a huge part of Batman's legacy. There's the little Batmania it had. It's got its own little place in history. So top notch stuff.
Is that the first Batman film you saw on the big
In
screen?
theater. Yeah.
Okay. I again went opening night, and this time it was actually, this is when they started the midnight screenings. I actually went.
Oh, they started them back then?
Yeah, that's the first movie I literally went to a midnight screening for, and it was not, like today they have, they all start the early screenings at freaking 3:00 the day before. You know what I'm saying?
I think my first midnight screening was Transformers.
Back then, when they said this is a midnight screening, I mean, it literally, because it would be shown on the date it was supposed to open.
Yeah,
12:01 a.m. I went, and it is one of my. I have a very fond spot in my heart for Batman Forever for a lot of reasons. I mean, I liked it. I saw it. I liked it. Coming off of Batman Returns, and I'm not.
It was a hit.
Dump.
It was.
I'm not trying to dump. I'm not trying to dump on Batman Returns, but I liked it. And yeah, you're right. It was people who say. I mean, I've read articles and I'll rant on them about. Batman Forever was a flop. No, it was not a flop. You weren't here then, or you're ignorant or dumb if you think that.
I think it's all three, to be honest with you.
It was huge. It was a huge hit. Yes, there was a little mini Batmania, probably because that was very much MTV driven. You know what I'm saying?
I think you're right. And just,
MTV was
McDonald's
big.
had no beef. MTV was all over the place. Music videos, toys. And Batman Forever was a machine of merchandise.
Yeah. It. You turned on MTV. MTV was still a big deal. I don't even know how. I know MTV still exists. It's not the cultural.
It's not music television
juggernaut that it was at one time at all.
Seal and U2 were on MTV nonstop
all the time.
So was it MTV or whether it was Entertainment Tonight or Action, whatever that show is. That is what held me over until the movie, because there were clips of the movie and the music videos. They had those featurettes on ET, like that. And, at the time, the role of Batman was probably the biggest franchise role in Hollywood at the time. Yeah. So, tentpole wise, now everything's now nothing gets made unless it is a franchise.
I remember when Val Kilmer was cast, and I actually was like at a bar and they had Entertainment Tonight playing on one of the TVs. And I just remember, I think it was, it was like no volume on, and it was Batman logo and then Michael Keaton, and then they show Val Kilmer. And I read between the lines and said, wait, did they recast Batman? And sure enough, they did, with Val Kilmer. And
that movie's a who's who of 90s superstars.
Movie. He's coming off of he was coming off of Tombstone, which, I know he'd done other stuff besides Tombstone, but Tombstone was a big hit, it's become this, even today, it's a movie that's rewatched a lot. And,
crazy enough, in tradition with, 89, the biggest actor in that movie is the villain. Like, there was nobody more popular at the time than Jim Carrey there.
No.
Coming off the Mask, I believe the first Ace Ventura, like he's literally at the height of his insane career.
Yeah, and Tommy Lee Jones was a A-list plus actor.
Nicole Kidman, and Chris O'Donnell, the young heartthrob, right? Like, it is literally a who's who of the hottest and biggest names at the time.
He was just coming off of Sin of a Woman with Al Pacino, and kind of got him out there. Yeah, it was big. I enjoy it to this day. And you told me it was playing a lot on TV. I didn't notice, and now
you can't help but notice it.
Now I notice it when I'm,
It's been on TV since the toys have come out, and I've had fun watching it. Just popping it on
I
random
just,
parts.
I did. I got the Spin Master Batmobile from Batman Forever, and I did pick up the little, what is it, 6-inch? No, he's not. What was it, 4-inch action
4-inch,
figure?
yeah.
Yeah, for Batman Forever. Got it over there in my Batman Forever area. So, and the reason I bring up Batman Forever, not only because it's its 30th anniversary, is because also we're going to here at Batman on Film, it's going to be the next chapter by chapter that we're going to do. So we're going to be breaking it down, I think, starting this week.
Joygasm.
And yep, we'll get there. We'll get there for
Do
sure.
you now? I'm just curious, in your circles among those you trust, is there anything about a release of a director's cut? Is there any?
I've heard nothing
Okay, just wondering
about it. I think, wouldn't you think if you're going to do it after there's been like some momentum over the last couple of years, there's been talk about it, and
well, over the last few years, I mean, it's
but
Pope
I
Joel's
don't think,
passed. Unfortunately, that brought up a lot of conversation with it. The anniversary's coming up.
like they would have done it
Goldsman
this year.
I'm kind of surprised because I feel like it's no different than a DTV animated movie at this point. You've got your built-in fan base. That's the money that's going to come.
How other
I
than
don't know how much it
fans,
costs.
I would say, other than fans, what's the appetite for Batman Forever?
Oh, I don't think it's great. That's why I said I feel like
cut.
it's one of those like direct to consumer animated Batman movies. I figure you kind of have like a small idea of knowing, we know who's going to buy this.
I
just don't know if it's big
them
enough
to do it.
Yeah,
because as much as I like Batman Forever and how fond I am of what the film that we did see that was released, I do think that the Schumacher cut. I mean, because Schumacher was really happy with and proud of the movie they put out.
Yeah, he never once complained about it.
I always call it the Red Diary cut.
Yeah, well, we go back a long way.
And that's in fact, you can go to Batman on Film and just search on Google, Batman Forever, alternate cut Batman on Film. And there's a whole article from 20 years ago that goes
I think
into
somebody
detail.
cut scenes out of like a YouTube music video and put them in there and try to do some things, like people try to restore it.
It's a very detailed version, that article on Batman on Film, of what it was. It doesn't significantly change the story. It does flesh out the Red Diary subplot.
Scenes are in different order. I think the Wayne
scenes are in different. I mean, the film opens up with
the opening, right?
Opening. I mean, we've seen most of the cut scenes. It opens up with at Arkham with Dr. Burton, who was played by what was the actor's name who played him? Renee. So God, I can't remember. Anyway, Harvey, Two-Face, and going into the cell, and then we see Two-Face escaped Arkham, and the Bat must die. That's how the film opens up, and then it goes to when Bruce sees the bat signal at Wayne Enterprises. It goes that was for him to go to take on Two-Face. So that it's out of it's a different order, but the Red Diary stuff is fleshed out quite a bit more. You have the big giant bat scene. It's probably of those four films, the Burton Schumacher films, like maybe it's for sure of those four, it is the most Bruce Wayne, the psyche of Bruce Wayne focused. It does more with the psychological aspect of Batman, and it makes, if you know what they cut out, it's you go, man, that would be, they should have had that in there because it made more sense.
Yeah,
I
just feel like that's kind of
his whole motivation for being Batman.
Yeah,
that's the thing. That's what it's all about.
I think that was just the effect of Batman Returns, like, oh, it's a little dark, and we're
Yeah.
trying to lighten it up a little bit, just so, which oddly enough is kind of the opposite of what happened between Superman Returns and Man of Steel. They're like, got darken
Yeah.
this a little bit. Let's make them fight a little bit longer. So,
Yeah.
oh man, Warner Brothers, the reactionary studio.
So anyway, we'll be doing that. I'm looking forward to talking about this movie in that detail. Haven't
And I
done
hope some
that.
new things come out of it too, to be honest. Like, I know
Yeah.
Val is in bad shape. Maybe they can interview him if he's up to it. O'Donnell, Kidman.
Well, I
Uh,
think he's in good health, except for, he had the throat cancer and he lost his voice.
yeah,
But I
I'm not
mean,
sure. Yeah, I'm not sure, how he's
yeah,
would do something like that. But
yeah.
all the best to Val. But I would love maybe just if someone asks somebody some questions. I'm sure Jim Carrey would love to talk. I love hearing about the Carrey Tommy Lee Jones feud on the back. I honestly, that's the one story that's
it was Tommy Lee Jones just hated Jim Carrey, and Jim
yeah.
Carrey
To me, that's
wasn't,
fascinating. To me,
yeah,
I love the fact that he walked over to him and was like, "I can't sanction your buffoonery," and
yeah.
Carrey didn't know how to react, and that's fascinating to me because if I watched the movie, I was like, Tommy Lee Jones is professional. He didn't let it affect his acting. He didn't act like Two
No.
Face, but he didn't act like he hated Jim Carrey in the movie either. So, good
Yeah,
kudos
I
to
mean,
him.
like
But
the Red Diary cut wouldn't take away some of the over the top
no,
stuff
that's
from
still going to
Tommy
be
Lee
there.
Jones, and I I don't have really a much of a problem with Carey's performance. It just seemed to be it was like Frank Gorshin on steroids, in a way.
Yeah, I mean that's how I looked at it.
Yeah. So, but the Red Diary, I want to see it. I hope one day they do make they'd have to put some money into it. They need to finish the visual effects, they need to clean it up, they need to finish the score, add
Well,
the
they've done
score
that
to it.
for movies who haven't been a hit. So I
Yeah.
imagine they'll
What
be
else? But it's not going to cost. It's not going to cost a whole lot because you're not going to have to go shoot anymore. Spend 75, 80, $100 million to shoot a bunch of stuff that didn't exist beforehand to quote unquote finish it. All right.
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean, speaking of like Tommy Lee Jones and his over the top Two Face, that the first time we see him in Batman Forever, the coin flip and he's giving the
Beer and pizza.
speech. That's really good. That
Yeah,
whole
if he
little
kind of
speech
kept
he
that
makes. Yeah.
throughout the movie, I
Yeah.
think it would have been something to be remembered. So
Blind, simple, stupid, doodah, clueless
yeah,
luck. Random talk. Yeah. I mean, that was good. That was good stuff. And I really like the whole opening scene, even though there's, he cackles a little bit too much in the helicopter, but that cold opening I thought it was pretty
worked for me,
cool. Yeah. So, all right.
especially as a kid. It worked for me.
So stay tuned for that. And also, we'll mention, not going to get into detail on this one, but it is the 20th anniversary of Batman Begins. And so once Batman Forever, chapter by chapter, is completed, we'll get to Batman Begins.
20 years. Wow,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Yeah.
nuts.
I tell you, I say enjoy it. You can, the way I look at it, when the Batman Part 2 got pushed another year back, I was like, that's just another year for it to wait for it, to anticipate it, to look forward to it. Because once it gets here, it's going to be gone. And then we're going to look back and it's going to be, look, Batman Forever, 30 years. Batman Begins 20 years ago. That's how this stuff goes, man. You got to enjoy it. Enjoy while you're in it. Okay. All right, Pete. Anything you want to mention that you've got going here in the world of
Nothing.
pop culture?
No. If you just want to follow me socially, Pete Illustrated on all platforms. Follow my podcast to do with Eric Holtzman, straight out of Gotham at straight_O_G. If you like Spider-Man, I do Spider-Man podcast at the Spidey Coalition. Check that out. The Italian Spider-Man Coalition. If you obviously like Batman, so check out Brian Lauer's The Batman Book Club. I make
I was
cameos on
just
there.
on it. Yeah.
Oh, you were just on that? Yeah.
I just
You talking
did
about Boy Robin, huh?
yeah, Batman. I just did Robin Dies at Dawn. Got hit by a boulder on an alien planet. It was the greatest thing, greatest panel.
Batman on. Remember, Bill says he loves Batman on an alien planet. So Matt Reeves, take that into consideration.
Greatest
Justice League coming up. Satellites, Darkseid. Ooks.
Have you read that story before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And it's got some Batman comic historical significance because Grant Morrison incorporated that story into Batman R.I.P.
Batman
Hurt and all
R.I.P.
that.
is my hush. I'll tell you that much. I think that thing's overrated. But I usually only talk about that with Javi.
I like. I'm not going to get on tangent. I liked
Too late.
R.I.P. until it became other. It was too much. Anyway, I'm not going to get on a Grant Morrison diatribe.
And I love Batmite. But BatmanOnFilm.com, Batman on Film YouTube. And I'm all over the Facebook group trying to keep Bill, just trying to calm him down a little bit.
I'm calm as can be. How can you not be
Calmer than you are, dude.
You're me. Calm. I living the life of
Calmer than you are,
Raleigh.
dude.
All right. Let's see here. What did we learn today? Cristin Milioti wants to be in a Batman movie, playing Sofia again, and we're all for that. Andy Serkis knows the story that will be in of the Batman Part 2, thanks to Matt Reeves. Batman Forever, chapter by chapter, is coming here on Batman on Film. With that, announcer Rachel will finish up here. I am Bill for Pete. We'll catch you next time.
You have been listening to the BOF Social Hour, Jett's official podcast on Batman on Film. Follow BOF on Threads at The Batman on Film. Follow BOF on X, formerly known as Twitter, at Batman on Film. To help keep BOF up and running, go to patreon.com/BatmanOnFilm, or you can buy BOF a beer at buymeacoffee.com/TheRealBatmanOnFilm. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original Batman on Film, founded in 1998.